welcome back to The Whole You. My name is Dr. Kate Edwards, and I'm your host. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we have Jessica Calderon with us again. Hi, welcome back.
Thank you for having me again.
You're welcome. So last time we talked a lot about the things in our kitchen that would help us with pain or decreasing inflammation or improving our overall health. So today we're going to be making a couple recipes that have the ingredients we talked about earlier. The recipes that we chose are super easy and they don't take much time at all, but they have such a great benefit to your body. Okay?
Yes.
So the first one we're going to make, they're called chocolate fat bombs. And the name really gets me, fat bombs.
Yeah, it's kind of funny and brings some humor into your cooking.
Right?
Because when you tell people that you're making them, it's like, oh, okay, fat bombs.
Whoops. But chocolate fat bombs, it brings up a good point. So everyone's like, what do you mean you're making fat bombs? There's this negative connotation to fat.
Yes.
So we talked about it before, but can you go into a little bit about why fat is good in your diet?
Yes. So the lack of fat in our diet, which a couple decades, I guess, ago that went into the whole don't eat fat, everything's non-fat, actually disrupted our hormones and is actually not good for the optimal functionality of our body. Our body needs fat. It needs fat to process and for anti-inflammatory. So there's a lot of good benefits of having fat in your diet. And so to have these fat bombs, it's not only a sweet treat, but it's also super easy, like you mentioned before. And we have our coconut oil, different coconut butter, cacao. So it does have this very sweet treat for ourselves, and it's very filling. So fat also helps us to fill and not overeat. So there we go with that.
All right, so let's start. I mean, in terms of making it, so we've got a couple fats, so I'll take them here. You tell us what they are.
So we have our coconut oil and then our coconut butter. Okay. And so we're going to heat those up first and get it a little solidified, especially since our coconut butter took a little while to get out. So you may want to prep that before making this, because this recipe does take about, I want to say, a good 5 to 8 minutes here. This could take you the 5 to 8 minutes just to get it out. So
yes,
we're going to use that. You're going to heat that up.
Because it comes in a solid form. So if you show what it comes out of. It's
So I'll show here. It's solid. Nothing's coming out. So you definitely want to get that a little bit more liquid before. Right. And so you'll heat that up.
And it's just a half cup, right? Of
yes,
each?
Half cup of each. And stir that up until it's nice and melted.
And it really doesn't take that long, so...
right, because when you're heating this up, it'll just kind of solidify.
So I'll kind of do that. And so stir it up until the solid form turns into liquid.
Yes.
And then
we're going to... Oh, I probably shouldn't have drawn that over.
That's all right.
Bringing attention to it. And then we're going to take our shredded coconut...
We're kind of a disaster in the kitchen today. It's totally fine, though. I think this is real.
It is real.
It's a real problem. Just kidding.
And 2 tablespoons?
Yeah, so half cup.
Oh, right.
So basically just dump in. So the recipe says a half a cup and 2 tablespoons.
This is what a half a cup looks like to us.
Yeah. And again, I'm going to put this recipe up on the website, so you don't have to worry about how much of everything we're putting in. We'll put the exact amount.
We're both kind of on the
dump it in,
eyeball it and see what happens.
Okay.
So, and then we got 1 teaspoon here of our vanilla. Yep, that looks like a teaspoon. And then we have our cacao powder.
And so now that this is no longer solid, I'm just continuing to stir it as I turn the heat off.
And then we got another...
I just put a little bit more in there. We like it extra chocolatey.
We like chocolate.
There you go.
There we go. And so we have our cacao powder, we got our magnesium, our fiber, our fat, a little sweet, and then we mix everything together.
Ooh, it's bubbling up because it was really hot.
And we'll stir that up. Really super easy.
You can stir it for a minute and I'll get this out.
So we got that. And then you can make this and kind of prepare it however you'd like to. Sometimes I'll just do like a baking sheet. I'll put it in a glass bowl or a glass rectangular sheet, and I'll just kind of lay it out, and I'll cut not cutting cords. That's what I did this morning.
Just cut it up in pieces.
Yes,
is what she's trying to say.
Or you can do something kind of fancy like this.
So this
is fancy.
This is my style, because the way that I think about it is my 4-year-old is going to want some of these.
There you go.
So I can just pop them right out when they're done and hand it to him, and it's so much easier.
Absolutely.
So that's why I like to do it this way. So
and they're perfect size.
Right, and so you can just spoon in, right?
Yep. Here, I can help.
I don't know if that's a good idea. We'll see how it goes. If we spill, it's cool.
So we got some shredded coconut, which is yummy. So for anybody that would like to make this but doesn't like the shredded coconut, you can always add nuts if you'd like to, maybe some goji berries if you even wanted to, kind of on top. So the coconut is not a necessity to make this or break this recipe. So there's always that as an option.
Yeah. And so when you use the exact amount of ingredients, it fits perfectly in one of these small things. But if you kind of add a little here and there like we do, you might you might have a little extra.
Yeah.
Actually, it works perfectly.
No, I think it worked out pretty
Wow.
well.
That's pretty good.
Nice.
So then what you do, right, is just freeze it. Okay, so
super easy. Put it in the freezer. Wait about 30, maybe 40 minutes. But because they're so small,
30 minutes.
Put them in there and pop them out after, and it's a wonderful treat. Yeah. And we're back.
So when they're done, they actually look like this, and I don't think I should dump it over too much. Excuse me, but they're easy to pop out. So you just kind of put the knife over, and they pop out like this. Do you want one?
Sure.
Jesse, do you want one?
Absolutely.
So they're pretty easy.
Yum.
Good. Don't cut yourself. I don't want to get in trouble for cutting the producer with a knife. Okay, they are a little hard though.
They are a little hard, but
they're really good.
if you leave them out for a little bit,
yeah, then they'll soften up a little bit. Oh, that's a good point. Sometimes when I make my own chocolate, which is much like this recipe, one time I wanted to bring it to work and share it with everybody, and I'd frozen it, and then it just melted in the bowl. So when you have this kind of thing and you freeze it, you can leave it out for a little while to serve it, but don't leave it out too long. Right?
Yeah, if it's not tempered, which we're not sitting here tempering our chocolate,
right?
That's what allows it to melt before it can't be in the outside of the refrigerator or freezer without it melting. So
That's right.
Short period of time, but
that's okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, great. So that was our first recipe. Like we said, pretty easy, actually. That was probably only 5 minutes or so. Next, we're going to make pancakes. So we're going to make, what are they, sweet potato pancakes?
Sweet potato pancakes.
Yeah, and we're going to use...
stuff in my face.
That's okay. Sweet potato pancakes. We'll be right back. All right, so now we're on to our second recipe. So we're going to make sweet potato pancakes. This I love because so many people make smoothies, myself included, in the morning. But sometimes on the weekends, you want something a little bit different, right?
Yeah,
like for a treat.
Of course.
So this is a great recipe. Again, it's pretty quick, but it has a lot of bang for its buck.
Yes, absolutely.
So
we have sweet potatoes, vitamin C. We have that healthy carb. We have some healthy fats going into it. We got some protein with our eggs. So we definitely have a nice...
Keep doing that when you decide what to...
We have a nice setup of different nutrients that we're getting for this dish.
Cool. All right, so why don't you start?
So I'll start here with the eggs.
So, and for this, like a lot of things, we put the wet ingredients in one bowl, the dry ingredients in the other, and then we'll go ahead and use the food processor, which I have to say is my very favorite thing in the entire kitchen. I love food processor.
I love food processors. That and my Vitamix is my favorite thing too.
Oh, the Vitamix is nice too.
But you can't do a lot of dry stuff in there, so that doesn't work. I almost burned out my the motor, so I know
Oops.
very much about that. So let me just all right. We have coconut milk, an eighth.
So again, we're going to put these recipes, I'll put them on my website because we're just kind of putting them all in. And we don't want to waste your time with how much.
Some vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons. I like to eyeball.
That's right. Usually I do that with olive oil. You know, you just do a quick.
Yes, of
that's
course.
about a tablespoon.
So we got our lemon,
Oh yeah, we have to cut that.
half a cup.
And so with the lemon, be careful, of course, because
I don't see any pits. So
yeah,
good.
there's lots of seeds and things. So you can. What I do sometimes is do it, squeeze it this way and pick out the seeds as I go. So I'll just take it
doesn't
here
hurt
and
any.
do it. Yeah. These lemons are really good. They don't have too many.
Good. Oh, there we go. Got one.
That's it.
And so got that.
And here's my obsessive compulsive tendency. I'm cleaning up after you. And
Yes.
I don't even mean it.
Well, less for us to do after.
That's right.
All right, so we got that going on.
Uh-oh, here comes the
We
dog.
have our sweet potato in there. Wonderful.
And so the sweet potato, actually, I cooked earlier. I cooked it up, and then and I smashed it up. So make sure to cook it beforehand.
I think we're good with all of that.
So I'll
and
take
now we'll take it and we'll
Put
put
it
it in.
Food processor. And so what's good about sweet potatoes?
So sweet potatoes are, so they're filling, they are a healthy carb. So we have, you know, the fulfillment of that, but again, a lot of vitamin A, good for your skin, fat soluble there. Vitamin C also, working that into and having that as more of like a carb that you go to that's a little bit more filling. It's not like having rice and grains and stuff like that. That's a little bit more inhibiting of certain hormone inhibitors. So
Okay, well, I'm going to start this off. So again, my favorite thing in the entire kitchen, the food processor.
it looks pretty powerful.
It is. So it's really quick.
Oh, it's quiet.
It's quiet.
Mine's loud.
Funny story about why it's so quiet. I had a very loud one, but my husband was losing his mind every time I cooked. So he went around and looked at all of the food processors to see which one was the quietest. That's how we got this one.
It's nice. Mine's very loud.
So we do we do all the wet ingredients in here, and then we throw in some dry ingredients. So there we go.
Get that going.
Good. So
we
that's
have our
coconut flour.
Flour, which we have about a third.
Yep.
cup.
So I already measured this out.
Oh, it's all.
Yep.
Okay.
So you just dump
There
it
we
in,
go.
and then
So we have a pinch of Himalayan sea salt.
and cinnamon. And why would you use Himalayan sea salt instead of regular salt? Because that's another thing that's happening lately.
Yeah. So Himalayan sea salt is it has about 82 plus trace minerals in it. So you're getting a lot of vitamins and minerals in that, as opposed to like a table salt or Celtic sea salt is also a good variety to use, or artisan salt is also really good.
Okay.
It has a high potent and mineral content. So there's the way that it's processed. The pink color also shows that it is holding a lot of more nutrients and stuff. So it's a better variation.
I think this is the only thing left.
And baking soda, yes.
Yep. 1 teaspoon. So we have our little cheat sheet over here so we don't mess you up too much.
So a teaspoon.
Oh, that's definitely a teaspoon.
Okay.
That might have been too much. But that's okay.
Not too much of a teaspoon.
So you can throw that right in here.
All right.
And I'll mix it up again. Easy. Good.
Got our batter.
Looks good. Does it smell good? And I always take or unplug it because, again, I have a 4-year-old, so I try really hard to make it as safe in the kitchen as possible, and it becomes a habit. So, and then I just usually take this out. Good.
Wonderful.
And then we're ready to, pour it. And again, I actually forgot that you can pour it through just like this, or we can use the spatula. But I think this is
that's probably perfect.
good. And I use a skillet here, but you can use a pan. And if you were to use, if you would use a pan, put some coconut oil in
Yes,
it, right?
yes.
Whereas I'm pretty sure, I hope this isn't a big mistake, but you know what, I'm going to add some on there just in case.
Just in case.
I don't think I usually do, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, I'm recording, so I better not mess it up too much. I'm just going to do this. So I heated it up a little bit. There you
Just
go.
to give it a little.
Yep, just so that it wouldn't be too long. And so these pancakes are a little bit different, right, than normal pancakes in terms of
Right.
consistency because of the ingredients that we use. The sweet potato and then the coconut flour makes the consistency a little bit different.
Absolutely.
And then if
Right,
there's
so-
enough, you can always put it in that little.
Okay.
Okay, so then we could just do...
do like.
Now, of course, I could have made it prettier. I got that. And actually, this is plastic, and it might burn, so I'm not going to use that
I'm gonna use
anymore.
this. There you go.
Here.
Here. Here. I'll
Hey,
grab
thanks, dear.
this.
I really do
Like a
cook
little-
all the
I have
time.
such a little spoon for doing this, but
That's all right.
here we'll do.
Oh, yeah, that's
that.
perfect.
That's a good size.
Maybe add a little more to that.
Yeah, that one looks.
Not
a
that
little
I'm bossing.
sad.
Not that I'm bossing you around.
You need to add a little bit more to that.
What the heck are you doing?
You come into my kitchen.
Mess it all up. That's pretty
We can
funny.
make another one here.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
You can put a cone right there.
It's gonna be a baby one.
And if you really want, you could add cacao nibs to this or
Oh,
dark
yeah.
chocolate chips.
Oh yeah.
I like to put dark chocolate chips and then make a smiley face.
Especially with you kids, you're like, no, that's
No,
for
that's for me. Or make a heart.
I like that. All
Isn't it
right,
nice?
so
All about loving yourself, right? Cool. And I put it pretty low, but I'm gonna put it up a little bit higher. I just didn't want it to burn. How long would you cook the perfect pancake for? Do you have any idea?
no, because just like I do everything else, I eyeball. I'm like,
I think it's probably got to be like 3 to 5 minutes.
I would say like a 4 minute. I'll go right in between. 4 minutes.
I mean, you can see like it gets light on the outside
Yeah.
here, but you know, like regular pancakes, you start to see the
It
white
almost like
color.
right,
Yeah.
and they get fluffier and they'll be more like puffy. But that's
Doesn't really happen
because
here.
it's not so great for us.
That's exactly right. But these you can still see in the middle, like they bubble up just a
Yeah.
little bit, which is also an indicator. Yeah, bubbling. So they smell really good.
It's not really good.
All right, so now they're kind of sliding a little bit. Now, the thing with good tasting food is maybe it's not always pretty, so we're gonna
Right.
see how I flip this and see if we can. Oh, not so
Uh-huh.
bad. Okay, all right, but I can't promise you.
Oh,
Oh,
I think you're
just-
surprising yourself.
I'm surprising myself. Look at these moves.
Look at these.
Look at these moves. I'm like a master flipper right now. I'm on fire.
That was pretty good.
Thanks.
That's the best thing. You have to have fun in the kitchen. If it's not fun, what's the point?
I agree. And usually I'm listening to music and singing at the top of my lungs, and everyone doesn't want to be in the house except for me.
I just want to be here when you're done. You're sitting at the table. Singing has subsided.
Decided. My poor son's probably going to be traumatized from it, but that's okay. Okay, so let's just check them all. So then we can just put it up here. You can get your cinnamon out.
I know.
That doesn't look very pretty. That's okay. And then put a little bit of cinnamon across. And then you could even top it with some nuts if you really wanted, depending on what kind of day you're having or what
You
other
could even
foods.
throw some nuts in it while you're making it too.
Ah, that's a good idea. So anyway, these are pretty good.
Yes.
And I can't wait to try them. But thank you very much again for joining us for this show.
Yes,
And
thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys enjoy your pancakes. A little Vanna style. All right, and so again, if you ever want to get in touch with Jessica, then go to her website, which is the J-Way. So not dash spelt out, but an actual dash. It's on the bottom. .way, or excuse me.
You just say it's on the bottom of the screen.
It's on the bottom of your screen. I know, right?
Sorry, I'm laughing a little.
Oh, that's so good. Okay. And as always, if you guys have comments or feedback, please give it to me. If there's other things that you want to see on the show, let me know. And I really appreciate it, guys. Take care.